ORTF, or the Office de Radiodiffusion Télévision Français, was a national agency for public radio and television in France between 1964 and 1974. They were responsible for developing the ORTF stereo miking technique sometime around 1960. In this technique, the spacing of the microphones emulates the distance between the human ears. The angle between the two directional microphones mimic the shadow effect of the human head. Instead of placing the microphone's capsules close together, this technique employs two cardioid mics that are placed at an angle of 110 degrees with the head 17 centimeters or 7 inches apart. Because the mic capsules are not close together, as is the case with the XY, this makes this technique near coincident rather than coincident. Generally use ORTF instead of XY stereo when you want a wider, more dramatic stereo image than XY provides, or when monocompatibility isn't crucial. ORTF tends to pick up less ambience than some of the other stereo microphone techniques. You can often place the microphones further back from the source without having the ratio of reverb to direct sound getting too out of control. A good tip for placing these mics: simply move around the room, listening until it sounds good, and then set the mics where your head was. As an example of this technique, we recorded a bull roar at the bunker. The bull roar is an ancient instrument used by the Aborigines and many other peoples across the world. They use it for communicating over long distances and for initiation and other ceremonies. Let me see what I can do with this very distinct sound. I'll play back the recording again and loop a short section. Since this sound is inharmonic noise, I think it might be fitting to shift it into something rhythmic. This time I'll switch over to beats mode. I'll set transient loop mode to off. This way, each transient segment will play to its end and then stop. I also want to preserve specific beat divisions rather than all transients. I'll choose 16 to dice it into 16th notes. So that the segments decay very, very quickly, I'll dial the transient envelope down to a very short setting. Something around 10 will do. You can instantly hear the results as I switch between divisions in real time without a hitch. And now to add some effects. I've placed an EQ up front this time to act as a low and high pass filter for sweeping in motion. And some grain delay. Another exceptional device for dramatically altering sound. I'll just transpose the grain pitch slightly and turn up the wet signal to about 80%. I'll add some flanger to give it that swept comb filter effect, and get some nice variation by modulating the decay time and feedback amounts. Add in a little auto pan to bring some movement to the stereo field. To keep the panning in time with live, use the tempo sync button. As a waveform, I'll choose sawtooth for my LFO shape. Lastly, just a tiny bit of compression with a fast release setting. I'll boost the makeup gain a tiny bit more as well to bring the overall level up. Now the real fun begins as I can start modulating the effects over time for some variation. Automate and record this data directly into the clip envelope or record longer passages into the arrangement. play around with different beat divisions and switch back and forth between them. Remember, variety is the spice of life.